the Philippines where sunlight gleams, Brian, Tess, and family dreams. By the shorelines, kids at play in a tropical bright array.
Good morning, YouTubers. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Brian. This is Tess, as most of you already know. Our two sons, firstborn Kyle and baby Caleb, who was born 18 days ago now, are both sleeping peacefully. So we thought we'd take this opportunity to do a quick video. We haven't been anywhere, obviously, with a newborn and an 18-month-old. It makes it pretty difficult to travel around. So I'm still just getting over being sick again. My immune system, I think, was compromised from no sleep, lack of sleep, while Tess went through the 24 hours labour. She was an absolute trooper. No screaming, no shouting, was the quietest natural birth I've ever heard. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today was transferring money. A lot of guys have messaged me and emailed me and asked me about transferring money to the Philippines. Now, it differs if you are staying here with a girlfriend or a wife, or if you're just on holidays as a tourist. Obviously, you won't have a bank account here that you can transfer funds to, so it's a little more difficult. But there are places here like Western Union, Palawan pawn shops here are money exchanges, and they also can accept funds being transferred here. You can transfer directly from an app. A third-party app is the best way to go, rather than trying to do it from your bank. I could have transferred from my bank because we opened an account here. Tess already had an East-West bank account. Now, I'll digress for a second. If you do have a wife here or a girlfriend here and you have a bank account here in the Philippines, be sure that you've opened the account in the city or barangay province where you are staying closest to you. Because if you have an issue, Tess had an East-West bank account here in the Philippines, and it was opened in Manila, in Alabang, and there's an East-West here in Masbate City. But unlike in the West, where all the banks are linked, they're not. If we had an issue, which we did with the East-West, and she called up to talk to them, and they, here in Masbate, they couldn't help her. They told her she has to go to the branch where she opened the account, which was back to Manila, which was absolutely ludicrous. So you will strike issues like that. Make sure that you are staying where you open the bank account. So if you do have any issues, you can go directly to the branch where you opened the account, and you shouldn't have any issues. Now, we then decided to open a new account here with Philippines National Bank, PNB. We opened that here in Masbate City. So now if we have any issues, we can go directly to the branch that we've opened the account. Now, for me, I can transfer funds quite simply, and I use an app, and I do have a couple of apps. I was originally using Remitly, which was okay. Their exchange rate was quite good. The funds transferred quite quickly, but they have different tiers. They have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and that determines the amount of funds you can transfer in a month, or 180 days, or 365 days. It's limited, so you need to get to tier 3 to have large amounts of cash to be able to transfer over a year. Now, in order to do that, the hoops I had to jump through, and I was back in Australia when I originally set up my Remitly account, and I literally had to send them copies of bank statements, and originally I blanked out a lot of the information on the statements because for me it was none of their business. But that wasn't good enough. They came back to me and said, no, you're hiding everything, we can't see it. I said, that's none of your business. They said, sorry, we can't approve your next level tier until you do what we need. After I'd sent them my bank statements all uncovered so they could see everything, They then questioned me about transfers that I'd made from one bank to another when I'd sold one of my cars in Australia and I transferred the funds into another bank. They questioned that transfer, where it came from, and I said, it came from my bank, I transferred it. I then had to send them copies of that bank and those statements with the transfer advice where I sent it. They basically want to know what colour underwear you're wearing for the day. Remitly is very, very difficult to deal with, and if you're only transferring small amounts, it's not so bad. So you can do that, and I use them now as a backup, but I've since changed over to Wise. It was previously called TransferWise. It's now called Wise, and I've been using Wise for the last year and a half, I think. I've had no issues. I haven't had to send them any statements. They haven't asked me any questions. They don't restrict me or limit me to the funds I transfer. The exchange rate has actually been better than Remitly most times, and the transfer rates, if you're transferring let's say $1,000, then it will go through in usually up to 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I've had it go through instantly. Sometimes I've checked on our bank app 2 minutes after I've done the transfer and the funds were in the bank. So Wise is my number one go-to for transferring funds here to the Philippines. As I said, if you're a tourist and just coming for a holiday and you just want to transfer some money to yourself, then I would suggest using Western Union if you have one in your area. Most places have a Western Union where you can just transfer funds in and go and collect them with your ID and get your money. So, but always guys, have multiple ways to access funds, because you can run into difficulties. And even with the bank, we had just the other day, I had to go to 5 different ATMs. And I was telling you guys about money. You need to have 2 or 3 different ways to get money, and you need to plan ahead. This morning we've been to 3 ATMs already and nothing, and we've just arrived at this one. So that's the 4th ATM this morning, offline or no cash. The first one, let me put my card in, go through the process, and then at the end of it, it said, this cash dispenser is down, no money. The third one had a sign on it that said no cash. So if you have a bank account here with your wife or girlfriend, don't expect that you'll be able to get cash at any time, depending on where you are. This is Masbate City, but we're in the city, and I've been to 4 ATMs already. Now I've got to go to a 5th one and hope that we're successful there. 3rd time's a charm? No, let's hope 5th time's a charm. Before there was a brownout and there was no power, the banks, the original ones I went to with the ATMs, had no generators, so the ATMs were down. I think the 2nd or 3rd ATM I went to, they had generators, but the ATM was offline. They had some issue with their ATM. So it was the 5th ATM, which was actually the East West, where she previously had an account. I went to them and they have a generator and their ATM was functioning, and I was successful in withdrawing some money. But 5 ATMs later, before I could get funds. So I always say, plan ahead. If you're going to need money in the next few days, I'd suggest do it now, get everything organized, transfer your funds, make sure you have the cash in your pocket. Because as most of you know, the Philippines is very much a cash-based society. You can't use your Visa card or your MasterCard. If you're in a big city, if you're in Manila, if you're staying at an international style hotel, yes, no problem. If you're in some of the very big malls, in your supermarkets, we can use a card here in even the Gaisano Mall or LCC Mall in the supermarkets. But if you go to any specialty stores, or you go to any sari store or street vendor or anyone else here to purchase anything, you must have cash. Cash is king here. You cannot use your cards. So be aware, make sure you have planned ahead, make sure you have 2 or 3 different ways to access funds. So if your first one fails, you have a plan B, and if that fails, you have a plan C, because trust me, in the Philippines, sometimes plan A and plan B will fail. It's just life here in the Philippines. As I said, if you have a girlfriend or you have a wife here and she has a bank account, then I just transfer from my bank using Wise directly through to Tess's bank account. And I think with PNB we get 4 transactions per month. There's no fee on the transactions for withdrawal. So there is a fee for Wise to send the money. I think for $1,000 it's around about 10 Australian dollars. But I have that connected to my Visa card, not connected directly to my bank account. If I'm connected directly to my bank account, the fee is less expensive. I think it's around $7 or something. So do your research and find out which is the best way to go. But as I said, with the bank, there's 4 transactions per month on the ATM with no fees at all on the withdrawal. So I pay one time to transfer the money through Wise into the PNB bank here, and then we can just go to the ATM and withdraw the money as we need it. So Western Union, Palawan, Remitly, Wise, there's many different ways you can transfer funds. But do your research, guys. Find out what's going to suit you best. Do not transfer funds directly from your bank to your wife's or girlfriend's bank. The fees are way more expensive. The exchange rates are never that great either. I researched it with the ANZ Bank in Australia before I came over here, and it was way more difficult and way more expensive to transfer from bank to bank. You need to use a third-party app is the only way to go. So that's my little bit of information for today. Again, thank you to everyone who's come on board and subscribed just recently. I think last week we picked up 75 subscribers. So thank you guys for coming on board. We really do appreciate it. And we appreciate your support here watching our videos. Again, if you let the ads run, you're supporting us anyway because we get paid from YouTube for you guys letting the ads run through. Thank you also to those who have donated through Super Thanks, and thank you to the guys that have donated through PayPal. We really do appreciate it. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to stay here. So we really do need to get paid from YouTube. And as you guys know, in the future, we've got the piggery planned out there, which we're going to get onto hopefully in the next 7 days and get that fired up. So stick with us for the ride. Make sure, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button down there in the corner, guys. Make sure you click that thumbs up, give us the like, and hit the notification bell so you get notified of any future videos. And don't forget to drop us a comment and say g'day. We really enjoy hearing from you guys. Thank you again to everyone. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully back out on the land getting some things done out there. So from an Australian in the Philippines and a Filipino in the Philippines, peace out, guys.